Today I'm reviewing the Klipsch RF-7 III Walnut Floorstanding speaker pair. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've been using these speakers in my living room setup paired with a mid-range AV receiver and a mix of movie soundtracks and music across rock, jazz, and orchestral material. This review reflects real listening rather than just quoting specs. Let's set expectations early. These are not compact bookshelf speakers or an inexpensive plug-and-play soundbar. They are large, full-range floor standers designed to be anchored in a proper stereo or home theater system with dedicated amplification. What the RF-7 III does well is deliver a sense of scale and dynamics that smaller speakers can't easily match. When I listened to orchestral pieces or live-recorded jazz, the soundstage felt wider and more open, and instruments had room to breathe from left to right instead of feeling confined. That spatial sense is something Klipsch tends to emphasize in their design, and with the RF-7 III it's noticeable without feeling artificially exaggerated. Treble response from the horn-loaded tweeters is clear and detailed. Cymbals, high strings, and vocal overtones came through with crispness that stayed present even at moderate volumes. That clarity also helps with dialogue in movies. Voices felt articulate rather than muffled. Bass performance is substantial for passive towers. At normal listening levels, the low end has weight and authority. You don't need a subwoofer for everyday use unless you're chasing very deep extension or massive room shaking effects in large listening rooms. In tighter, medium-sized living spaces, the RF-7 III covered low frequencies with enough fullness that the overall balance feels complete. The speakers are efficient and respond well with a variety of amplifiers. With a modest power receiver they don't feel strained, and with stronger amplification they open up further without sounding congested. Now for limitations. Because they are large floor standers, placement matters. In a smaller room or too close to walls, you can hear bass that feels boomy rather than tight. I spent a bit of time moving them back from the wall and towing them in to find a smoother response. That's typical of passive full-range towers. They interact with room acoustics and benefit from some placement adjustment. The horn-loaded tweeters have a particular sound signature. For some listeners, that crispness is engaging. For others who prefer a softer, more laid-back high end, it feels a bit forward. It's not harsh, but it's a character to be aware of rather than something that automatically suits every taste. They're not wireless or active powered. You need a receiver or integrated amp to drive them, and speaker cable runs to your listening position. That's part of the commitment of traditional hi-fi speakers. Compared to compact speakers or entry-level towers, the RF-7 III brings more physical presence, fuller frequency coverage, and higher output. Compared to ultra-high-end flagship floor standers costing significantly more, they don't have the last octave of bass extension nor the absolute silence in background noise, but within their price and size class they deliver impressive scale. Where these speakers make the most sense is for users who have space for full-size floor standers, want wide soundstage and dynamic musical playback, prefer detailed highs with substantial bass without always needing a sub, or pairing with a dedicated amp/receiver rather than relying on powered soundbars. They're less ideal for listeners with very small rooms, tight-budget compact setups, or those seeking completely wireless solutions. Here's the rational evaluation from real use. The Klipsch RF-7 III Walnut speakers provide strong, open, and dynamic sound for music and movies when paired properly and placed thoughtfully. They aren't a casual plug-and-play box, but for a dedicated stereo or home theater system they feel capable and rewarding. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.